I don't like him. I don't like him. I don't like him at all. I don't like him. I actually feel bad for the rest of the Stomach family. I do. So let's talk about it. Yo, what's going on YouTube? This is your boy Kamen Spike back again once again. And today we're here for Kamen Rider GAVV episode 30. And in this episode, I don't like this family, this president and his daughter. I'm not messing with them. In this episode, we see that Shoma and Lakia end up meeting the president's daughter. I haven't gotten her name down yet, and I kind of don't want to because she's a spoiled brat type thing. But yeah, she kind of gives them like the rundown on like who she is and stuff. But and Shita basically says like, oh yeah, like we're married and things like that. And also the president's daughter tries to attack Shoma. He blocks it. He blocks him and Lakia with his lollipop form, and she's actually excited at the fact that they were actually able to withstand that. And she's like, I can't wait to see you again and stuff like that. So yeah, that's a thing that they're gonna have to worry about later. We see that the rest of the crew, they end up going back to Sachika's house, and basically Lakia ends up kind of giving them the rundown on who this family is. It turns out this family is like one of those big presidential like type families and stuff. We see that Hunto basically is like, so your president is starting to get involved. Does that mean we're also like gonna like fighting like the inner workings of like the whole Granute world? And Shoma's like, nah, this is probably just my like this is probably just Jibu's like vendetta against me and things like that. So we did end up seeing like the president himself like talking to another Granute man who is apparently like maybe another person he's trying to cut some business deals or something like that with. And he actually gives him the one of the dark treats, and this guy loves them. He loves the freaking dark treats. And we see that he brings in Lungo, and Lungo is pissed, but he has to like kind of do what the president says, because he's technically the most powerful man in like the world and stuff. And also Lungo kind of wanted this, but I guess not in this type of way, because he wanted some of the big wigs and stuff like that, some of the big names in the Granute world to actually like invest into the Stomach Inc. Like he wanted that kind of thing, but I guess he kind of bit off more than he could chew because the president's a dick. And yeah, so he talks to him about the whole dark treat thing. And now that he's talking to him about dark treats, he basically says that, oh, now we can find a use for those vermin in that other world. And he basically threatens Lungo, saying that, hey, you gotta do what I like. Basically the whole thing of like, hey, do what I say type of thing. I'm taking over like Stomach Inc. and stuff, and if you don't abide by my rules, like he's I'm well acquainted with the authorities. The authorities will bust up in there and take it over and stuff. Lungo is like, okay, like he's obeying everything the dude is saying so far, and I'm not liking it. You're not gonna do Big Brother Lungo like this. But we see that the rest of the crew, they're investigating the monkey Granutes that was kidnapping some of the basketball players and things like that. So they're looking for him. They can't find him anywhere. And now we get Hunto basically has the idea to say that, hey, instead of just trying to track down him, why don't we track down like the footsteps of his victims? So basically Hunter is basically using like his reporter, journalist, type of skills and stuff to basically be able to deduce where the victims were going after they got done playing basketball, right? So they end up going like a bunch of places. They end up going to like these different like maybe like a restaurant or maybe like a convenience store, things like that. So the trail kind of ends at like a bathhouse, and they kind of tell Shoma and Lakia what a bathhouse technically is, and then Shoma's like, hey, that could sound fun, but maybe that wouldn't be a good idea for me and this guy because they got stomach mouths. But we end up seeing that this this monkey guy, the monkey Granute, actually works at this bathhouse, and they do end up finding him since when they find him, he ends up transforming in front of them and he ends up running off. But there was a strange scene that Shoma had when he ends up while they're all like looking for the monkey grenade. He runs into this guy at He runs into this guy at this candy shop, and for some reason this guy has some kind of significance. I don't know what it was, but the scene and the conversation he had with them was like kind of long. And also, I feel like this is foreshadowing something, especially with like the kid that like this man's son. You know, this was kind of weird, but I guess this could be foreshadowing something. I don't know. But yeah, so the monkey grenade ends up running off, and we see that Shoma and Hanto end up going after him, while the Lakia and Sachika, they stay back in the bathhouse. And he basically says that, hey, like, does the bathhouse have like something like a basement, like something like a boiler room? And he ends up going into that room, and they were going down into like this basement area where they end up finding the suitcase full of all the victims that the monkey grenade had already taken, right? So he tells Sachika to go and grab all of them, and then they get intercepted by one of Longo's agents. And Sachika's like, who's that guy? He's like, he's one of Shoma's older brother's agents. And she was like, minions? Like, he doesn't look anything like the Gochi-sos. So he tells her to run off, and she ends up grabbing the rest. She ends up grabbing the suitcase full of the victims, running off, while we see Lakia ends up fighting off this agent. So the boys they're running and chasing after the monkey, and while they're chasing the monkey, we pan over to the others. We pan over to the president's daughter, Jiba, and stuff like that. We see that Jiba has gotten Shita's her changer fixed, the little changer that made her look human. He ended up having it fixed, and when he had it fixed, he ended up taking out his own and actually putting it in his changer, and he ends up changing into Shita. And he's able to, like, I guess this might be a way for Shita to come back in some kind of capacity. It's still weird, but then he's staring at himself because he sees Shita, and he's kind of like bawling because that's his sister. He misses her, even though you two are kind of douchebags. And you are douchebags, but we see that's when the president's daughter ends up seeing this, and she's like, nah, stay like that. You're cuter. I'm like, what are you doing? This kid's weird, man. It's a weird kid. But we also saw how we go back to our boys. We go back with our boys chasing the monkey, and we get the return of the Chips form, and I'm really digging that. I'm glad we get to see return of Chips. And they're fighting the monkey dude. He's monkeying around, doing all kind of monkey things. He's jumping on top of stuff and throwing stuff at him like some Donkey Kong type stuff, where Mario's trying to grab and go get Donkey Kong. Well, not really Mario, more like Jumpman. But yeah, so they're doing that. They end up being able to get up there with him. They end up fighting him off a little bit. Shoma does his thing where he asks him like, do you wanna give up the dark treats, or are we gonna have to put you down? And it was kind of weird for Shoma to say, for him it was weird for him to say we, because he usually is doing that. He usually is asking that question by himself. But yeah, so our boys end up transforming into their icy forms, which is a frappe form and our ice cream form. They end up transforming into the icy stuff. They end up using all kind of synergy moves and synergy ice moves and all that kind of good jazz. I love that. I love how Shoma and Hanto are so like synergized when it comes out and they're fighting and stuff. It's dope. But yeah, so they end up defeating the monkey, and then that's when everybody kind of goes back home and celebrating and stuff. We see the frenemy type of relationship Hanto and Lakia have with each other and things like that, and it's just makes Shoma so happy because now everybody's getting along. The main crew's getting along. We gang in here, right? Man, but we're gonna pan back over to Stomach Inc. and we see that Jibu has returned with the president's daughter, and we see that Longo, he's pissed. You'll see it in my shorts video that I made for this episode. He's pissed because we see that Nilev and Galado, they ask him, well, what you taught, like what happened and stuff. Turns out The president has, since he's taken over Stomach Inc., he has made his daughter the CEO of the company, and has also made Jibu the he also made Jibu the vice president. And now Jibu ends up going up to Lungo and ends up demoting Lungo, saying that he has to, he's in charge of all the production duties and stuff. And now he's been demoted, and Longo's pissed. He don't say nothing, but he's pissed, and he's kind of, and then you got Glotto and Neela looking back like, man, screw y'all. But yeah, this episode was actually really good. I actually did really like this episode. Next episode seems like it's gonna be a bonding, maybe kind of episode for Lakia and Hunto. Kind of, it looks like they're gonna be stuck together in the next episode. But man, I wonder what the big wigs, like the big wigs of this thing, like what are they gonna do? Like, cause now that he's shared a dark treat with another like higher up kind of Granute guy, this is gonna that word of mouth is gonna spread, because he loved the dark trees. They were delicious, and now all these other possible big businessmen or big crime boss men in the Granute world are gonna take interest in humans, and it's also going to give Stomach Inc. possibly some competition. So like, we don't know what's gonna happen with that. And it seems like the president is making all of these different partnerships and things like that. So he's most likely gonna overhaul Stomach Inc. and basically create it in like his image, and that's what it seems like is going down. And we see that we might end up having a thing where Shoma's gotta come back with his family and team up with his family to stop this dude. I feel like this guy is gonna be the final villain. I don't know. I feel like the president of the Granute world is gonna be the final villain, because he seems very corrupt. He seems very corrupt and messed up and with all the things that with all the things he wants to do. Like, he ends up threatening Lungo about the whole, like, if you tell anybody that I'm working with you and stuff like that, I can go to the authorities, and they can go into your house, and they can go to your factories and just overhaul everything. You'll be out of here. And everything that y'all lost will be mine. That's basically what he's telling Longo. And I'm just, man, like I said before, Longo is pissed. But man, happy ending for our good guys, bad ending for the bad guys. So it comes full circle. But other than that, yeah, you guys let me know down in the comment section below what you guys think about this episode of Kamen Rider GAVV. What do you guys think is gonna happen next? Like, do you guys think there's gonna be other companies and stuff making partnerships with this dude to, increase all the things with Stomach Inc.? Do you think that even more part-timers are gonna start popping out of the woodwork now, and being like, they're gonna start hiring more freaking Granutes if this overhaul of the company happens? So what do you guys think? What do you guys think Longo, Glotto and Glotta and Neela are gonna do, man? What do you think they're gonna do? And Jiba is loving this. He's loving it. He's at McDonald's right now, dude. Like, he got a new wife. Her daddy like him. Like, he's getting his revenge because they kicked him out and stuff like that. Like, all kind of stuff, all kind of foreshadowing stuff could happen, man, in the later episodes. But hey, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But other than that, I'm gonna see you guys next time. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell. As I always say, stay henshined.